everyone, and welcome back to Faces of IICD.
My name is Maithê R de Barros. I am a postdoctoral research scientist at Simon Tavares Lab here at the IICD. I am also a visiting scientist at the New York Genome Center, and I also collaborate with the German Cancer Research Center and the group of Carol Nowicki-Osuk, which is a former IICD member. What really drew me to the IICD was its interdisciplinary nature and how it brings together mathematics and statistics and cancer research, and how it also encourages us to collaborate across fields. So I started my career in vet school, and during that time, I just worked in a bunch of different areas such as animal science and pharmacology, molecular biology, genetics. And during my PhD, I fell in love with omics research, and that's when I knew I wanted to transition from the wet lab to the dry lab. My experience during my PhD in the wet lab helps me look at the experiments and understand how they're made, and that helps me analyze the data sets better. Also, my biological training just helps me interpret the data. Is looking at how gastric cancer begins way before it's diagnosed. Gastric cancer is the 5th leading cause of cancer death in the world, and it's usually diagnosed late when treatment options are very limited and outcomes are very poor. So I'm very interested in looking at the early stage disease. So understanding how healthy cells in the stomach lose their molecular identity and start becoming precancerous and cancerous cells. And to do that, I use single-cell RNA sequencing and single-cell ATAC sequencing that are tools that let us look at the individual cells and understand which genes are activated and how DNA is accessible. As soon as we define the cells of origin in gastric cancer, we're going to be one step closer to coming up with better and easier ways of diagnosing cancer at early stages of the disease, and also better ways of treating the disease. So that's going to help a bunch of patients around the world, and it's going to increase survival rates a lot. What excites me most about being a scientist is the constant challenge. I feel like science is full of really hard questions and requires a lot of creativity and a lot of persistence and willingness to sit with uncertainty to be able to answer those questions. I know it can be frustrating at times, but I find the whole process very stimulating and beautiful. And I also love that science has a long-lasting impact. So the work that I'm doing today, right now, here at the IICD, can also help other scientists in the future to come up with other hypotheses. I think my best advice is to seek good mentorship. If you have a good mentor, it just makes your life so much easier, because you're gonna have to go through a lot of challenges as a scientist. And if you have someone to guide you, that's very important. Find your own community. So connecting with other early stage scientists inside and outside of your field is very important, especially if you're an international scientist like myself. It just helps you stay grounded and navigate cultural differences. I am lucky to have Simon as my supervisor here, as my mentor. And even though he's the director of the IICD, he's very approachable, and it's just magical working with him, having his feedback and learning from him. He's truly one of the best mentors I've ever had. I actually love going to St. Paul's Chapel, which is right across our building, and it's a couple minutes away from here. And it's a place where I just unplug and reset. I spend most of my time deep down in data analysis and spend hours in front of my laptop. So sometimes I just go there to relax. And I still remember the first time I walked there. It's so beautiful. The architecture is amazing.
That sounds so cool. I've actually never been there. I think we should take a field trip.
I think so too. Let's go.
Let's go.
Here we are at St. Paul's Chapel. Let's go take a look inside.
Well, that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for interviewing with me today.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, and we'll see you at the next one.